Hey there, Postal here! So today we're taking out our Tier 9 IL-40. Working on getting the IL-40P pretty soonish. Let's see how that goes. We're in a Tier 9 battle, which is pretty nice, although, to be honest, really DGAF when it comes to what tier I'm in this particular plane. Thanks, Lifelock. Anyway. The fact of the matter is, shoot. I'm gonna go to the garrison. This plane is freaking stupid slow. And I'll actually probably get to the enemy mining facility before I get to mine. Or at least reasonably close to the same time, and I can cap a garrison in the meantime, right? Go. Don't crash. And we crash. Alright, so let's continue on. I'm losing half my health. I'm not even the first one in this sector. Why am I the one being targeted by all the anti-aircraft? Let's see if I can't get to the mining facility quick enough. I do not like how much freaking hit points I lost. I really don't like that we haven't gotten the freaking sector yet. Like, how freaking bad is the team where they can't cap a garrison after I've flipped more than half of it? We might be in trouble. Let's see if we can't mess up this B2. B2's definitely got a better rear gunner, but we've got a better forward gunner for taking out enemy aircraft, which is kind of funny because the Germans are usually better at taking out enemy aircraft, but at Tier 9, and as far as I know, it's the only tier that those rules are flipped. Tier 9, the Soviet plane is actually quite good at taking out. You die there. Can't be a pain in the IL-20's butt as well. There we go. This is probably going to be overkill, but it might as well. You know what? No, let's save our bombs. Dang it! These rockets accidentally hit the center location. It's not what I was aiming for, actually. Kind of annoying. There we go. Alright, so we'll save our bombs, that way we can utilize them for whatever next sector we go to, which is across the world. Get our boost, see if we can't catch up to this B2. Also get ourselves to enemy cap sector. So we'll just get the center. We're going to stay down low in this kind of situation. As highly armored as the IL-40 is, just like all the Soviet ground attackers, it's super heavily armored, but still, if you focus down by a heavy, or even a lighter multi-role that's attacking you from the right correct angles, which would be like left or right, because it's like literally can't do anything to the left or right. You know, I can at least angle up and down, I can turn left and right, but still, attacking from the left and right is totally going to screw up, you know, any kind of shenanigans when it comes to my defense. So, if you're attacking me from left or right, that would make a difference. I'm just going to kind of cut across here. I'm not really here to cap your sector. Say that, I'm probably going to die here, so I might as well drop my bomb. Yep. Might as well drop that bomb and see if we can't help flip the center, but us dying in the center certainly doesn't help. Let's let's go ahead and I guess we gotta go for that mining facility that we've been thinking that our team could get. Yeah, so let's go ahead and do that. Come on, load in quickly. Bullish Chris, huh? Well, crap, they are gonna get that mining facility before we get there. Reloading my bombs and rockets, just get them all in. I'm under the impression that they will have the mining facility captured before I get there. And so I'd rather just have my bombs and rockets ready to go for me having to cap it back. I'm not even really in a rush to get over here. Yeah, I was gonna say there's just not any way to do anything. Who that guy? Let's see what we can do versus this at least. Not a whole hell of a lot. 30 seconds before our bombs and rockets are back up. So let's just try to knock out the light targets that we can. Try not to take any unneeded damage. A lot of trees in this sector, which is kind of annoying. Kind of annoying, which is definitely annoying.
A line of thunderstorms is approaching. We'll soon be unable to provide support. Do you copy? Over.
Rocket, rocket, rocket. Here. Oh, you know what? Actually, we've got our bombs back too. Let's go ahead and drop a bomb. Drop a bomb. Continue on. Can I? Let's just toss 3 rockets just to make sure. Go. See if I can't knock out this Tempest. I can. I can get my guns on target. And even if I don't get him fully killed here, which I will not, I might be able to get him with my rear gunner.
Be advised, the enemy is concentrating forces near the airfield.
So let's head back to the airfield, I guess. Are you really coming in on me here, dude? Cool. Thank you. Appreciate that. Unfortunately, we don't have... That guy would be one of the better guys. Man, all our people are gone, huh? Talking about as far as you know, coming in hot and heavy on me here. Fortunately, I'm dead already. So we're able to sneak a win out of that. Not sure how much we deserved it, but got what we got. Let's head on back. Unfortunately, we died twice. We captured 4 sectors, though. It did a pretty good amount of damage to the ground. Did what we needed to do, or at least tried to do what we needed to do to try to win. What's funny about this game is it just goes to show you what the difference, why a JU-287 is so overpowered, why the EF-131 is so overpowered. The balancing mechanics for any of the ground attackers or bombers in the game is that that they can be killed. You'll notice that I was able, if an IL-40 is just left alone, left to its own devices, it will completely, just completely and continually flip sectors, flip sectors. Nothing's going to stop that. Air defense aircraft, yeah, it'll do some damage. Anti-aircraft, sure, it'll do some damage. But guess what? My guns and rockets and bombs are going to do more damage. And a competent ground attack fighter, ground attack player, will take out those AAs, take out those air defense aircraft, or focus on flipping the sector before the air defense aircraft can even really become a nuisance. If there's any kind of hint of focus on killing the ground attack plane, it's going to be dead eventually. The 1056 on the enemy team knocked me out with ease at the end there. And there's not a whole hell of a lot that I could do, right? My rear gunner's just not going to be strong enough. Even if I had my rear gunner on target, it wouldn't kill him quick enough. Heavy fighters are built to take out heavy targets like this and bombers. The difference between an IL-40 and IL-40P, any of the ground attackers in the game for that matter, any of the slow bombers like the Americans and most of the Russian ones, the difference between all those planes and the Ju-287 and EF-131 is the Ju-287 and EF-131 can make it a point to go so fast to avoid any kind of interaction. And if you leave it doesn't matter the bomber, but if you leave any bomber alone, it's just going to continually flip sectors. Yeah, I don't know how to balance that out, though. I don't have a Ju-287. I don't have any F-131. I'm still going down that line. I'm only at Tier 7. So I don't even know, would reducing the amount of bombs fix it? Would increasing the reload time balance it out? Would slowing it down balance it out? Because as being a ground attack fighter, I don't know why I keep saying fighter, but being a ground attack pilot or being a bomber, when I fly those planes, you have to fly it in a manner that you're trying to avoid interaction with the enemy, yet still capping sectors. Because as soon as an enemy notices you, you're dead. It's one of the worst thing about the American bomber line. Is as soon as an enemy heavy fighter recognizes you and realizes they can get you, you're toast. You can't go anywhere fast. You're super slow. You've got no maneuverability, and you're basically a Tog 2 waiting to lose all your hit points. It's like that with ground attack planes. It's like that with most bombers in general, because most of the bombers in the game, most of the ground attackers in the game just can't outspeed, can't get away from the enemies. And that's a balancing factor. The IL-40 is excellent for flipping sectors. You saw I was able to flip sectors with ease, just blowing up whatever different sectors. The only time I didn't flip a sector quickly was because I screwed up where I was placing my bombs or placing my rockets, right? So the balancing factor to such an awesome amount of ground attack is its inflexibility to defend itself. But then you've got two planes in the game specifically, on the Ju-287 and the EF-131, that can circumvent that completely, especially once they're specialized, and basically reduce the gameplay to trying to cap quicker, which you can't do in an IL-40. The only reason we won this game is because they had an AFK Tier 9 fighter. Think about that. We were 3-on-2 that whole time. And we barely won, only because we were just flipping sectors as quickly as possible, and we barely won. What was the final score? 800 to 770, right? We had almost lost the final mining facility at the end there. And so, yeah. So I completely understand the frustration of this kind of situation. This should have been an easy game for us to win. This shouldn't even be a video of mine. This probably should have been, me getting maybe 10,000 personal points, because this guy should be maybe getting 10,000 personal points, because they've got only, 2 players really playing. But the fact of the matter is, he's probably annoyed that he didn't win because he just did 18,000 personal points. How many sectors did he flip? Four sectors. He died once, which is a freaking miracle. Oh, it was AA guns because none of the humans could catch him. F-94D is not going to catch him unless it's completely spec'd for speed, and even then, you're going to have to catch him in an odd moment. Same with the Vampire F1. You can't get behind a Ju-287 in those 2 planes without dying. So it's going to be up to a heavy fighter, and our heavy fighters are bots, so they're not going to do it properly. And even if they did, Pancake's just not going to be able to handle it. 228 could. 228 in human hands could totally have changed this battle. Totally have mitigated him. But that would have been his job to just focus down a Ju-287. Is that really what a 228 wants to do? Well, you've got to keep attacking the Ju-287, because if you leave him alone for 2 minutes, he's going to flip 2 sectors. Completely change the game. We need you to go... I know. Don't worry about your personal points. We're trying to win the game. Your personal points might be 6,000 at the end of the game because you killed a Ju-287 3 times. And that's all you did, though. Because if you don't do that, there's nothing else that's going to catch that Ju-287. He's going to end up with 18,000 personal points and either an easy win or a close loss. That's all that would ever happen with a Ju-287 is either an easy win or a close loss. There's no stomping a Ju-287, right? Unless you're in your Ju-287, there's no stomping that unless you've just got a completely stacked team. And so yeah, I know this is definitely just turned into a Ju-287 rant, I suppose, or maybe an EF-131 rant. I don't really typically care. Like, I didn't mention it in the beginning of the battle. I don't really care. Like, it is what it is. You got to deal with the enemy team, no matter if it's 3 specialized planes or, 3 specialized planes versus no specialized planes, or, everybody on your team's tier 8 and they've got 2 tier 9s, and you're like, what the heck? Matchmaking is what matchmaking is. I can't do anything about it. Bitching about it's not going to fix any of that. Any more than I can make my pilots any better in the game directly, right? All I can do is control my interactions, control my attack, my defense, try to communicate, and if my team wants to, take into account my communication, then so be it. If they don't, then so be it. And you just live with the repercussions of that. And so, yeah, I wasn't complaining about the Ju-287, but as I got to the end here, in a game that you can see the striking difference between how a Ju-287 and an EF-131 can interact in a battle, and how all the rest of the primarily focused on ground damage planes act. So all the ground attack planes and all the rest of the bombers in the game, besides maybe the Su-10. The Su-10 is definitely stupid fast as well, but it's different. That speed moves you from being balanced to being overpowered because there's no real counter to you. The Ju-287 died because the AA finally killed it. It finally died because it was over so many sectors so many times that thank goodness the AA killed it, because if the AA hadn't killed the Ju-287, this game would have been completely different, right? We would have been stomped. And more often than not, the Ju-287s don't die. We were lucky that he did get knocked out by an aircraft. So, yeah, this match turned for me talking about the IL-40, which I absolutely love, to how I feel the IL-40 is balanced. It is, if it could avoid any kind of enemy aircraft interaction, this would be an overpowered plane. But you could say that about any ground attack plane or any bomber, basically, right? Which I guess is what I just did. So we're going to stop that. enough of that. The IL-40 is an excellent plane, though, an excellent ground attacker. I mean, it just kind of continues the tradition that started at Tier 7. I definitely need to go back and get myself an IL-8, see what I can do with that. I know it was requested. I've got the IL-10, and that's the line that I came up. I'm not a ground attack pilot by trade. I was going down this line. I got to the I-220, which is one of the best, if not the best. It's definitely the best Tier 7 altitude fighter in the game. Tech tree altitude fighter. So I kept flying it, and I was like, well, I've already grinded out the I-250. I've researched the I-250, and I was like, oh, I still want to play the I-220. Let's go ahead and grind out the IL-10. I grinded out the IL-10, and then I bought it, because you know what the heck, I researched it, and I started flying it. I was like, oh, the IL-10 is actually pretty darn good. But that means I skipped the IL-8. I didn't get the IL-8. I've gone this way. The Soviet ground attackers from the IL-10 on are excellent. I can't really speak to previous to that. But the IL-10, the IL-20, and the IL-40 can take care of themselves, right? They can't completely own everything that's around them. They're going to have issues, obviously, as they should. But I feel a lot more comfortable in being able to defend myself in these three planes. I feel a lot more comfortable in my ability to flip sectors if I can keep myself alive for long enough. And I love that about this plane. This plane, over the German line, you've got the rockets, which just are, it's a little bit more flexibility with your air-to-ground ability. And that's certainly always nice. Got a lot less flexibility in regards to your maneuverability and just your airframe flexibility, but you've got a lot more impact when it comes to your actual ability to hit the ground. So I'm going to apologize. Sorry for the rant. It just was kind of like clicking in my head of, why, in my opinion, the Ju-287 and EF-131, and again, to a lesser extent, the Su-10, why they're considered overpowered. I know people talk about the rear gunners on them. Yeah, the rear gunners probably could use a little bit of a nerf, but the fact of the matter is, rear gunners aren't going to save you if the enemy planes can catch you. Like, yeah, it'll save you from time to time, just like a rear gunner on an IL-40 or a ME-1099 will save you if it's a lower hit point plane that's attacking you, or the enemy is attacking you in a poor manner. Sure, it'll save you in that situation, but a rear gunner shouldn't save you from a full health Tier 9, Tier 10 heavy fighter, right? So that's one discussion point, but honestly, I think fixing the speed would fix a lot more, because your flexibility on attacking a Ju-287 or an EF-131 or an Su-10, your flexibility on that is minimal because you're just always chasing it. So of course you're always going to be behind it. You never have the ability to attack it from the side or from the top or from the front. Well, from the sides or the bottom or anything like that, because it's going so fast. By the time you get to it, you're behind it, and then you're in trouble because of the rear gunner. So that's why the rear gunners on those planes are so difficult, is because you're always stuck behind them because they're going too fast. But I don't know how to really balance that. Like, if you make it slower, then they're just going to be punching balloons. But I mean, that's what friggin' bombers are, right? You've been that ever since Tier 4. Why can't you be that, at Tier 9 and Tier 10? I don't know. So anywho. Technically, this video is on an IL-40. Technically, it's on the difference between an IL-40 and a Ju-287. I apologize for the rant. But hopefully it can, open up some discourse. Not that, Wargaming's listening to anything I do. Or, any of your comments. No offense. I don't think they really listen to too much. Not for this game, anyway. And to be honest, if you look at things like warships, and community contributors for warships were telling Wargaming that the commander rework wasn't going to work properly, and Wargaming said that's nice, and they did it anyway. And then, it's not working properly, so they're going to have to redo it. So even the groups that Wargaming has that they've got the ability to listen to, they don't necessarily listen to. So even if Warplanes had a community contributor program, I'm not sure it would really do much good unless they actually, took took what was told to them, and you don't got to do everything somebody says, but like, if enough people are bitching about an EF-131, then maybe there's something wrong with it. I don't know. I haven't flown it yet, so maybe my voice will change once I fly it. But that's my point. Is like, I like having conversations with you all in regards to the game, changes that could make the game better, what you do to overcome deficiencies on your plane, or what you do to overcome the incredible strengths of an enemy plane. I'd love to hear that down in the comments below, or feel free to hop in our Discord, my Discord. That way the conversation can keep going there if you have Discord. We definitely like talking about that kind of stuff and some other games as well. Anyway, I'm done with my rant. Have a good day, guys. Bye.